one. We'll start in about 1 minute. Alright, it's 5:30 now. Now let's talk about what we're gonna study today. So today you see the word here, spatial awareness. Now these are very difficult words, right? But spatial awareness is basically we're learning about shapes. So what shapes do you know? We know this is a circle, we have a triangle, a rectangle, and a square. So these are some shapes, right, that we know of. Now let's talk about something a little bit more special. Okay, so can you tell me, what shape do you see here? To you, it may just seem like a triangle, but this triangle is a little bit special. It's not like the other triangles. Okay, now let's take a look at the sides of this triangle. What can you tell me about it? Okay, so on the right, you see there's a checklist here. Are you a regular shape? Okay, so some shapes are special, some are regular, and some are not regular. Let's fill in the checklist one by one. How many sides do you see here? There are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 sides. And what's the other checklist here? Are they the same length? Okay, so let's take a look at the length here. Are they the same? We have, these are almost the same, right? Let's give it a tick. They look the same. And what about the corners? What are corners? Corners are the sharp parts of the triangle. So over here, let me use a different color. Sharp part here. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 corners. So are these corners all the same? Okay, so you see, they all are a little bit narrow, right? They all look the same size. So I say they are same corners. Now, if we take these two, they have same length and same corner, that means they are a regular shape. Now again, what shape is this? This is a triangle. So it is regular and it's also a triangle. What can we call it? We can call it a regular triangle. Okay, if you guys have your piece of paper down, can you please write down these 2 words? Regular triangle. Okay, what's special about regular triangles? They have the same length for all the sides and they have the same 3 corners. Okay, please take a moment to write it down. Alright, I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. Alright, once again, this is a regular triangle. Now, we are going to watch a video to talk about what are we going to do with these regular triangles.
The regular triangle is so beautiful.
Right. Let's put them together, side to side, and see what will happen.
Side to side?
Put them together side to side means to put the 2 sides completely along each other.
Whoa! What shapes can we form by putting 4 rectangular triangles together side to side?
Yes, so you see, when we put 2 regular triangles together, they form a new shape. Right, let's draw it here. We have this one. We have 1 regular triangle here and another one here. Okay, they form a diamond shape. Now, what happens if we put a lot more regular triangles? Can we form something like this? Right, in shape A, how can I find the regular triangles here? Okay, so this shape is clearly not a triangle, right? But we can separate them into many triangles. Now, the tip here is to start from the corners and the side. Now, I'll give you guys about 20 seconds to take a look. How can we take out triangles from this shape? Right, again, the hint is start from the corners and the sides. Okay, now let's start from the corner. Let me choose the left corner here. The left corner is like this, over here. Right, do you see part of a triangle here? How many sides do I have right now? I have 2, okay? And guys, I want you guys to type in the chat, how many more sides do I need? How many more sides do I need to form a triangle? Okay, let me write down. How many more sides to form a triangle? Okay, some of you may have guessed it right. You only need one more side to form a triangle. What do I mean? I can separate it like this. Over here. Now, this is a triangle, right? We took it out from this shape, A. Okay, now, how can we make more triangles from this shape? We can start from the other corner. Or we can continue moving from here. So, I have one side here, and I have another side here. How many more sides do I need? I can connect from here to here. Okay, so now I have done the first 2 triangles. I need your help to do the rest of the triangles here. Okay, I will give you guys 30 seconds to find the rest of the triangles. Now the hint is you only need 2 more triangles. Okay, now let me do the rest. Let's see if you guys get it. I separate it from here. Then I have one more line here. So how many triangles do you see now? How many triangles do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we need how many regular triangles to form this shape? We only need 4. Okay, so good job for those who have done it. For the next one, we'll try something new, right? Another shape here. Oops. We have this shape. Okay, after looking at this shape, you may say, teacher, isn't there only one triangle here? Now, let me tell you, this triangle is a big triangle. It's actually made of many small little triangles, okay? And my hint to you is you need exactly 4 regular triangles, okay? We need 4 of these. 4 triangles. Okay, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to think about how you can find the regular triangles in this big triangle. If you know, you can tell me how many, okay, you can tell me how can you make these triangles in the chat. And again, remember, you can start from the corners and the sides. Use that to help you to find your small triangles. Okay, my first hint to you would be to start from the top. Let's form triangles like this. Okay, from my corner, I can make two sides like this. How can I form my first triangle here? That's right, I can form my first triangle like this. I draw a line across. Now what about the rest of the triangles? Can we still form triangle from the top here? You may think that it's a little bit difficult because I only have one line here. If you cannot continue from here, let's try the other corners. On the left, we have another corner here. Let's draw one side and two sides. How many more sides do we need? We only need one more side. So how many triangles do we have so far? We have 1 and 2. Okay, Kiran, you managed to got it. We need 4 triangles. Right, and the last part will be drawing normal line here. And you see there are actually 3 triangles and one more in the middle. So the one in the middle is actually upside down. It's not even standing upright. But is it still a triangle? Yes, it is. Alright, so how many triangles do we have? We have 4 triangles, exactly. Remember, we start from the corners and start from the sides. Now, in the next 2 exercises, I'll give you about 2 minutes to help me solve these 2 shapes. Okay, the time starts now. I will come back at 5:44. Okay, 2 minutes to do this question. Let me read the question for you. Each shape below is formed by regular triangles, okay? Use triangles only. Alright, use regular triangles to form these 2 shapes. Okay, please ignore the second sentence. Hey, good job, Kiran. What about B? B needs so many triangles. Okay, it's 5:44 now. Let me review how many triangles you need for shape A. Okay, so let's start from where? Start from the corners and sides. So we have here 1, 2, and then we connect with 1 triangle. Continue 1, 2. Sorry, ugly line. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, how many triangles do we have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this is slightly easier. What about for part B? B is a little bit difficult. So let's do it carefully. From the left corner here, 1, 2, and then we connect this one. Let's deal with all the corners that looks like this. 2. Okay, and then we can continue. This looks easy. It's an upside down triangle. Remember, upside down triangles are still regular triangles. Let me start from the other corner here. This 4, another one here. 5. Okay, now let's go inwards. How many more do we need? We need 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8. So how many do we need? We need 8 triangles for part B. Okay, hope you guys got that. Remember, we should start from the corners and sides. Alright, good job everybody. For those who have followed. Now, this is 4 regular triangles that we can put together. Next, let's continue looking at the story.
Wow! I used to build my home with regular pentagons. Achoo! However, the wind can blow in my home through the gaps between the shapes.
That will be freezing. How do you build a wall without any gap?
Choose a shape that can be used in tiling.
Tiling?
Tiling is to put shapes side to side together without gaps or overlaps to form a bigger shape.
Oh, I got it. Just like this.
Okay guys, now looking at the video here, we learn a new word here. It's called tiling. How do you spell tiling? T-I-L-I-N-G. Tiling. What does tiling do? If you look at this shape here, tiling uses the same shapes to form an even bigger shape. So over here we use how many squares here? 4 squares. Okay, to make an even bigger square. Okay, now if you notice, between each shape, are there any gaps? Are there any holes in between? If you do tiling and there are gaps, your house will be very, very cold, like the little bee just now. Right? The wind can blow between the gaps. And are there any overlaps here? If you overlap, then your floor will be uneven, right? You won't be comfortable to step on. Okay, so what are the tricks about tiling we learned? Firstly, we must put the same shapes side by side. Next, there cannot be any gaps between the shapes. And lastly, there can be no overlaps. Okay, everyone take a look at the rules A, B, C. Give you 10 seconds to read it out. Firstly, side by side. Secondly, no gaps. And lastly, no overlaps. Now, let's take a look at one example of tiling. For this one here, what shapes do you see? What small shapes do you see? Would be a rectangle, right? Oh, sorry about that. We put 3 small rectangles together to form another shape here. Now you ask yourself, are they side by side? Okay, yes they are. They are side by side. So this is a tick. This is a tick. And does it have any gaps in between? So if you look at these rectangles, are there any gaps here? Are there any gaps here? No, there are no gaps. So this is a tick. And lastly, are there any overlaps? Are these rectangles on top of each other? No. So this is a tick as well. If we take all of these checklists here, what should we put in this bracket? We should put a tick as well. Okay, take note. To make a tiling pattern, it needs to be side by side. There must be no gaps and no overlaps in between the shapes. Now, here is another example. Now, instead of rectangles, we have what? We have circles. Okay? Now, what's the question? Are they a tiling pattern? Let's take a look. Are they side by side? Okay, yes they are. Are there any gaps in between? Let's take a look. Is this a gap? Yes, it is. So remember, our tiling should not have any gaps here. Otherwise, the wind will blow through, right? And then you'll be really, really cold. So this is wrong already. So do we take this? No, we should box it. This is not a tiling pattern. Okay, now the next example here. Now we have puzzle pieces. Is this a tiling pattern? Okay, let's check quickly. Side by side, yes. Any gaps? No gaps. Tick. Any overlaps? No, they're all puzzle pieces. So this is a tick. Okay, so this is a checklist here. Now I need your help to help me do the next two questions in your try it exercise. Which of the following shapes are tiling? Okay, you can refer to the rules before. I'll give you guys about 1 minute to do this question. Okay, now let's take a look. Which of the following shapes are tiling? So, in the first example here on the left, we have these shapes here. Fun fact, these shapes are called pentagons. Let me write it here. P-N-T-A-G-O-N. It's called a pentagon. Pentagons are 5-sided shapes. Right, like this. A bit ugly, but these are regular pentagons. They all have the same sides and the same corners. Okay, now let's take a look. When we put the pentagons together, are they side by side? Okay, yes they are. And are there any gaps in between? Let's take a look. Gaps. Any gaps? No, I don't think so. Now lastly, are there any overlaps? Okay, so you see a weird shape here, right? This actually means this pentagon here. Let me draw pentagon A. Pentagon A is actually on top of pentagon B. That's why you only see a little bit of pentagon B. Right? So if you have some objects in front of each other, let me show you. Look at the camera here. I have a snack here. This snack is in front of this Pikachu. Right? So you only see part of Pikachu because there is an overlap. This snack is in front of the Pikachu. That's why you only see part of Pikachu. So, is the left a tick? No, it is a box. Okay, now for the next one here, this is slightly easier. We have a lot of plus signs, right? These are all perfect. Let's draw out the regular shapes. Okay, this is the shape we are tiling with. Are these shapes side by side? Yes, they are. Are there any gaps? Okay, tell me, are there any gaps in between these shapes? Or are there any overlaps? Type in the chat here. Are there any gaps or overlaps here? No, don't have, right? So if you check, no gaps in between, you look through, actually there's no gap. There are also no overlaps because you can see all the plus signs here. All the shapes are fully seen. Okay, yes, very good. Very good, Susan. Very good, Kiran. Right, this is a tick. Very good job. So today, there are actually very little questions, but there are a lot of things to know. Right, for shapes, what's the first thing you know? You know what's a regular triangle. Now, regular triangle is not the only regular shape here. There are also other regular shapes. For example, what does this remind you of? Oops. This is a square. Is a square a regular shape? Is it regular? Remember, regular shape is the same length for the sides and the same corners. Write it down. Same length, same corners. Same length and same corners. So aside from triangles and squares, can you draw out any other shapes? You can increase the number of sides. For example, triangles have 3 sides. A square has 4 sides. Can you draw a 5 side with the same length and the same corners? Okay, let me give you a hint. It will look like a pentagon over here. Okay, so if you are listening, you can go and draw out 5-sided regular shapes, 6-sided, 7-sided. Give it a try. Okay, but let's continue summarizing. For part 2, I know how to use regular triangles to make different shapes. So you can put the triangles side by side for this one here. Okay, this is actually called a diamond. Let me draw it properly. You can draw it like this. You can put 2 different triangles and put them together. You can get many different shapes. And lastly, I know how to do proper toweling. Okay, so the rules of toweling are what? They must all be the same shapes, firstly, and you can put them side by side, and there can be no gaps and no overlaps. Now I have a quest for you. You can actually find many towelings, many proper towelings in your home. So let me give you a hint. You can go to your kitchen or go to your bedroom and you look at the floor. Okay, some of your floors are made out of rectangles, some are made of squares. Okay, you can go and find and ask your daddy, oh, where's the toweling? Okay, or you can make your towelings. You can draw it on the map here. You can draw it on any paper. You can make toweling with this shape, this diamond shape. You can also make with, let me see, you can make with squares. Oops. What can you make with? You can make with a lot of things. Let's try this one here. You can even make with, oops, this one here. Okay, even though this may not look like a proper shape, but you can put it on top of each other. Let me show you. Hold on. You can put one more here. Okay, this is also toweling, right? Because there are no gaps and no overlaps. Alright, so if you're free, go and make your own tilings. Alright, go and design your own tilings and ask your daddy whether they like it or not. Alright, and go and find real life tilings on the ground. In your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your living room, anywhere. If you go out in the mall, you'll see some also. Okay, and that's about it for today. Thank you all for following through. We have a lot of people here today. Again, firstly, you learn about regular triangles and other regular shapes. You know how to use regular triangles to make different shapes. And lastly, you know what is proper coloring. Okay, you guys learned a lot today, so very good job to all of you. Alright, I'll give you a homework later, so remember to do it later. Okay, thank you and bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye, Kieran. Bye, Susan.